Hello, my name's Joseph. This is our project on FDI, Intel in Costa Rica. The attraction of foreign direct investment constitutes a fundamental element to support strategies that aim to achieve sustained economic growth in developing countries. Intel is one of the largest semiconductor chip makers. In 1997, Intel opened a new facility in Costa Rica because the country offered tax exemptions, a high education and labor force, and also a corruption-free environment. Ever since the facility opened in only 2 short years, the growth rate of the economy went up 14%, which was the highest in Latin America. This was also influenced by the fact that Costa Rica did go through a recession in 1996. Intel's facility is responsible for 1/4 of Costa Rica's exports and 5% of the country's GDP.
One of the first questions that come to mind when you look at the Intel deal is why Costa Rica? When deciding where to go, Intel had many factors they used to filter out their options. Intel was looking for countries that were politically and economically stable. Also, Intel wanted a country that already or was willing to invest into education, especially when focused on technology. Another big aspect, of course, was the nation's laws and regulations and goals of import, export, and FDI in general. The Costa Rican Investment Agency, CINDE, led a 2-day tour where Intel met with Costa Rica's leaders in government and economics to ensure that they were prepared to do what was necessary to make this deal work. Still, Intel was concerned about Costa Rica's size and their education, particularly in technology. Mexico was actually the front runner until the issue with currency and unions emerged. This disadvantage put Costa Rica back on top of the list, and they were able to seal the deal with the Free Trade Zone Agreement.
Hi, I'm Yin Wu. I'm going to talk about the economic impact of Intel in Costa Rica. The first thing I want to talk about is the GDP. The GDP of Costa Rica has also been tied to Intel. In 1999, the GDP of Costa Rica grew by 8.4%, but without Intel, it only has grown by 3%. Since Intel moved into Costa Rica, the economic activities grew average 5% overall. The second thing is from golden bean to golden chips. Since Intel moved into Costa Rica, it has repeatedly become the top exporting company in Costa Rica. And the last thing I will talk about here is the direct employment. Because Intel now is employing 2,900 direct workers, and those jobs are 50% better than its original industry.
The greatest social impacts that has come with the development of FDI in Costa Rica has been the increasing access citizens have to technical education. Beginning as microprocessors with about 2,200 workers, Intel has incorporated citizens into their workforce and bettered the educational system while also diversifying the economy. In the early 2000s, engineers in the country were able to become part of Intel groups such as the Latin America Engineering Services Group and its subsidiaries the Latin American Design Services. These engineers and technicians were granted the opportunity to work closely with other members of Intel and help to create and develop new types of software. Today, 61,570 students in elementary schools now have access to information and communication technologies. Colleges and universities have even instituted special curriculums and technology programs so that they will have a better chance of attaining a stable job. With the help of Intel, these students will be able to truly learn about technology. They will contribute to the technological sector and raise the standard of living not only for themselves, but their families as well. By integrating technology into public schools, younger students can contribute more to the growing knowledge-based economy and will actually be able to compete and succeed in the global market.
Intel had a positive impact on both the import and the export of the country of Costa Rica. It swiftly grew in 1997 and 1998, and Intel became the country's largest exporting company, and the chips became the largest export. Costa Rica has ensured that all their schools are properly educated to produce well-rounded and skilled workers. The country has set out to change the knowledge base of the country to hopefully produce more Intel workers in the future, whether they be engineers or other positions. Intel has helped strengthen the diversification of Costa Rican trade patterns, increasing the number of countries which are traded with. Unfortunately, with pros do come cons. Intel has put a strain on the natural resources in this country, more specifically the water supply. Intel sits directly upon the main aquifer that over 1 million Costa Ricans depend on for their drinking water. With the factory in full swing, the factory would be using over 1 million gallons of water a day, taking away from the Costa Rican people. It is also in question what kind of hazardous material is being let out into the waters.
FDI, or foreign direct investment, has helped many businesses increase their profits, sales, as well as import and exports. It has helped a wide variety of businesses as far as banks, software companies, and mining industries to collect their natural resources. The reason why FDI is so attractive is the benefits that it provides as far as individual taxes, business taxes, preferential tariffs, free land and economic zones. One of the hotspots for FDI is Latin America, and in 2013 Forbes let out an article noting and indicating that in 2013 FDI in Latin America was approximately $185 billion, with the three leading companies, Brazil, Mexico, and Chile. One of the factors that goes into FDI is as far as natural resources to manufacturing. To this day, we know that natural resources provides one job per $2 million invested, and manufacturing provides 7 jobs per $1 million invested.